So welcome back to the channel. We have some interesting news. So WBC IBF World Welterweight Champion Errol "The Truth" Spence has just announced recently that he is in negotiation to have a unification bout with your Bugas, the WBA champion, probably in February. This is extremely good news because from my perspective, I thought that this fight was not going to happen, and that Errol Spence was going to have to eventually go into negotiations with Terrence Crawford. And in my personal opinion, that fight is going to be a much bigger fight if it's a fight for the unification of the welterweight division. So with that being said, I'm glad that Errol Spence is given this opportunity to unify these titles so that they can go down that path. I think by far that is the biggest fight in boxing, and it deserves to be a unification bout for all of the belts, for everything on the line. So when I think about this fight for Errol Spence and Yordenis Ugas, it's a great fight, man. When I think about Yordenis Ugas, I think it's given him the opportunity to showcase his skills. Had a really close fight with Shawn. A lot of people say he won that fight. Was able to defeat a living legend in Manny Pacquiao, and now he has the opportunity to knock off Errol Spence. I mean, it's not much more you can ask for, right? He has the opportunity to put it all to rest and show why he's the best in the division. But then when you think about Errol Spence and the fact that he, had the car accident, he came off of a very long layoff, had a really good performance against Danny Garcia, but didn't necessarily look like the Errol Spence that we're used to. I think this is a good opportunity for him to not only do what he said he wanted to do, which was unify the titles and not fight mandatories or anything of that nature. But it's the right opponent when you think about it, right? So you got Yordenis Ugas, which is a highly skilled fighter, but yet he does not have a lot of power, and also he's easy to hit. I think the style that he fought Pacquiao in would be perfect for Errol Spence. So I think it's an opportunity for Errol Spence to come in and showcase his skills and unify the division. When I move over to Terrence Crawford, even though he's not going to be fighting Errol Spence next, Terrence Crawford still has a lot of opportunity out there, right? So he can fight Josh Taylor, but I think the one that he's going to actually wait for is Keith Thurman, and I think that is a hell of a fight. When you think about Keith Thurman, the level of skill, the movement, the power, although Terrence Crawford, he's been tested at welterweight now. He had Shawn Porter in that fight. I think that fight was suspect at best with how the fight ended. But at the end of the day, Shawn Porter was a test, but in my estimation, somewhat tailor-made for somebody like Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford, I thought, would be able to take a half step back and constantly counter Shawn Porter as he came in with those kind of ducking moves, and sometimes he gets a little bit out of control as he's throwing his punches. And I thought he'd just be able to step back and counter. And with Errol Spence, I thought he was going to do the same thing to him. The thing that was disappointing to me from an Errol Spence fight was that Shawn was able to feint him out of position a lot of times. And the problem with Errol Spence is that he wasn't doing his own feints, right? Shawn was waiting for that jab, and as Errol would throw that jab, Shawn would feint, Errol would try to throw that jab, Shawn would go up under it, try to counter him, right? I think what Errol Spence could have done quite easily was feint his jab so that he came in, stepped in, and countered him. I think he would have clipped him and knocked him out, or at least put him down similarly to what we saw Crawford do. So I think one time there was a different animal. I mean, the movement, he's not going to be coming in there while he's going to box. He has the power, and I think if he gets Terrence Crawford hurt, I'd be interested to see if he can recover from that. So incredible fight, very interesting fight. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Not only that, when you think about the fact that if Terrence Crawford is able to beat one time, and Spence is successful in his fight against Yordenis Ugas, now you have a situation where Terrence Crawford can actually come to the negotiation table and probably be able to demand, if not 50%, close to 50%, right? Because I think a pay-per-view with Terrence Crawford and one time Thurman, I think that's a hell of a fight, and I think that's probably going to sell much more pay-per-views than what we saw Terrence Crawford sell in the past, which in my estimation, I believe that last fight was really about 130,000 pay-per-views. So excellent fight for all the fighters. Super excited to see the fight. Super excited to see Errol Spence get back in the ring and see where the welterweight division goes. So That's all I have for now. Until the next video, we'll probably put a show up here soon so that we can talk about everything that's going on in boxing. But until the next video, peace.